Good morning, Calabar. Good morning, Malabites, Malabresses, beautiful listeners across the beautiful Paradise City. Yes, today is another beautiful Tuesday morning, and this is the Founders Community Network, otherwise known as the Founders Conet, here on Unical Radio International. Time check is 9 minutes past the hour of 10 this beautiful Tuesday morning, and you already know that the Founders Conet is that show where we bring you visionary leaders from across various spheres, various fields to come share their stories, enlighten us about the thinking behind the brilliant things that they have built, and we take you all the way from story to strategy and of course from idea to industry. And I know you are itching to know. You can find the giddiness in my voice. You can see how excited I am about my guest for today. But before we get into that, in case you've missed any of the previous episodes, I want you to head straight to our YouTube channel. We are Unicorn Radio International. Go and catch up on the past episode because there is a lot to learn. Yes, I'm really excited, like you can tell already. So on this episode of the Founders Conet, we're joined with a man whose work sits, at an intersection of storytelling, media leadership, and cultural influence. A broadcaster, a filmmaker, and storytelling strategist. I think it's really heavy on this one. I really liked that, while making my findings, I saw how, let me not let the cat out of the bag yet. You get to meet him for yourself. So my guest for today is Mr. OtoObong Ekpenyong, widely known as OTB. Yes, we have him here in the studio with us today, and I am excited. He has built a career across film, broadcast, production, and industry development with experience spanning documentary, storytelling, creative leadership, radio management, and media production. So you want to stay with us, you want to sit tight, get a glass of water because it is going to be a smooth sail. And do not forget to get your notepad and pen because there is a lot to learn. And if you've sat under Mr. OtoObong's teaching or any seminar, if you've met him one-on-one, then you know that he's a bank of wisdom. Trust me, this is one episode you do not want to miss. So be right back after the short mid-school break and we'll listen to our guest biography. Stay tuned. Radio International.
Cross River Estate, Nigeria. 103.5 FM. Education, information, and entertainment.
High five. Welcome back from that short musical break. Just as promised, you know, when we say it here, we do it just the way we say it. All right, if you're just joining us, then don't worry, you have not missed much. Today is Tuesday, and it is about that time where we bring to you a brilliant mind that has built something exceptional. Yes, I'm talking about the Founders Community Network, otherwise known as the Founders Conet, here on Unical Radio International 103.5 FM. And my guest for today is Mr. OtoObong Ekpenyong. He wears many hats, but I'll let you hear that for yourself. I want you to sit tight and listen to his biography.
On this episode of the Founders Community Network, we bring you broadcaster, filmmaker, and storytelling strategist, Mr. OtoObong Ekpenyong, widely known as OTB. He currently serves as the station manager of Sparkly 92.3 FM, where he leads broadcast operations and content direction. Beyond radio, he is the managing director at OE Production Company, an independent media outfit dedicated to helping individuals and organizations tell and share their stories in meaningful and impactful ways. Mr. Ekpenyong holds a Bachelor of Arts in Christian Education and was selected as one of only 18 African filmmakers trained at Montana State University's Social Justice Documentary Filmmaking Workshop, a program supported by the Ford Foundation. He began his journey producing award-winning advocacy shorts and human interest documentaries, many of which have aimed recognition and critical acclaim on the global stage. In recognition of his impact, he was listed by Y Niger in 2020 as one of the 100 most influential Nigerians in film. His work reflects a deep commitment to using storytelling as a tool of influence, education, and social change. Today, we explore the thinking, the structure, and the strategy behind his journey in broadcasting, filmmaking, and content creation. Follow us on all social media platforms at Unical Radio International. Join the live stream and be part of the conversation. This is one insightful and intellectually engaging episode you do not want to miss.
Yes, welcome back. I hope you listened closely. That is, the guest we have for today, Mr. OtoObong. If you actually paid close attention, you agree with me that he is an OG. You agree with me that those hats I was talking about is there, right? Well, we have Mr. OtoObong here in the studio. He is the man of the hour, and I'll let him say hello for himself. Good morning, Mr. OtoObong.
Good morning. Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing good.
We're really excited, to have you. I'm really glad I was able to get you in the studio. It wasn't very easy, and I can tell it's because of how busy your schedule must be. But
I was also saying this. I really respect the fact that you reached out early enough and getting like a 2-week window, which I really respect about that. Most people these days don't do that. So.
Thank you so much. Some young people are still responsible. We follow due process. There I am fanning my ego. All right, I'm pretty sure this episode is going to be nothing short of insightful, and I'm excited. I have my notepad, and I'm sure our listeners are itching to learn from you today. It's great to have you here once again.
Same here. You have a great space here, I must say.
Thank you so much. Did you hear that?
Yes.
We have a great space here. Broadcasting, filmmaking, they're both powerful vehicles for storytelling, and you built a presence in both spaces. Between broadcasting and filmmaking, I can see him shaking his head. But really, between broadcasting and filmmaking, which one feels most natural to you? Which one just, the spark is there at any given time, and why?
I'd like to say it this way. So the balance I find in both is storytelling.
Storytelling, yes.
Because if you're talking of broadcasting, you're looking at it from the distribution side of things. If you're saying filmmaking, you're looking at it from the production
The
or
production,
creative part.
yes,
So
yes.
actually, broadcasting is the end. That's the distribution aspect of it. Filmmaking. So it's not really a very, very good comparison. So, but the balance that I find from both is storytelling with filmmaking and with broadcasting, the balance for me always is storytelling.
I think we'll go a little deeper into that later. But before then, people know you professionally. They know Mr. OTB. They know you when you're behind the camera. They know you when you're working, when you're strategizing. But we want to know, who are you beyond all of that? When you're not working, when you're not cooking up something big. Who is Mr. OtoObong, the son, the husband, the father?
Well, that would be a question for my wife, my daughter, and my son to answer, don't you think? Yes, I think so. I think they'll be in a good position to say, but I think I'd like to say I'm just a regular guy that I found what I want to do with my life, and I'm just grinding at it every day.
What does your life look like on a normal day? When you're
My wife would say that I don't rest, I work. I know that.
even when you're not working, you're working.
So if I'm not working, which I wonder what that is, I'll be sleeping. I love sleep. I rarely get sleep, so I'll be sleeping. Oh, I will still find ways to, wind down. Good would be to read, to listen to podcasts, to watch good movies. So, and red wine.
Let's go back a little, a little to the beginning, shall we? I want us to talk about your foundational education. We want to give our listeners, a plain picture that, yes, there are big people, and we know you want to be big, right? Listening, and you're tuned in right now, you're learning, you're following the live stream, but your little beginning does matter. So for people who say school a scam, hear it from the OGs. So we want to talk about your foundational education, primary, secondary, university, school days, and how, these years, how they've shaped you to become who you are today.
Oh, absolutely. Primary education, the ones that I can remember, Immaculate Conception Primary School. It's still in Ikoranza.
Oh, wow.
Right? And before then, there were other ones in the village, but we now moved to Calabar. So Immaculate Conception Primary School is still in Ikoranza, behind Federal Housing. You know it. That's why I went to school. I think that was my primary 5 and 6.
Okay.
And then after that, it's Hope World Training Institution. Still there. Up to SS2. And then after that, of course, it's University of Calabar.
So you're proud Malabites.
Economics. I never got the degree for that, like the paper. That story for another day.
Okay.
But then after that, I decided to go into Christian education. And by that time, I really decided what I wanted to do with my life. And my path was to go to Christian education.
So it was a personal choice for you.
This was the one. So when you say foundational education,
yes,
this is it for me, Christian education, because if you look at the word foundational, that means that which grounds everything that I am today.
Exactly.
So what I would consider my foundational education, and education as opposed to schooling. Because if you look at it, and I'm talking to young people, from the foundation, the word education is very different from schooling. It actually comes from a Latin word, I think, which means to pull out.
Yeah.
So if you're saying foundational education, that tutelage that pulls out what I believe I carry inside of me is Christian education, and I can go straight to that for that. If you're from the Christian faith, and there's actually something called the Christian worldview, a way of looking at life. That's what a worldview means. Central to that is truth.
Truth.
I can call it many things, but it's truth. And I can tell you that foundation is what draws me to documentation. Documentary filmmaking.
Yes.
Because that means actually capturing reality. That's what documentary means, capturing reality. And reality is truth. So I think that shows you. So the foundation of truth, which is very central to the Christian worldview, is what shapes me. So yes, I went through all of that, but what I would consider foundational to what is pulling out what I believe I carry inside with regards to the gift I have to share with the world.
So how did you go from
education,
Christian education, to producing digital content for broadcast media? What happened in between?
Long connected story, but I can tell you that at the time that I did that Christian education, it's a BSc, it's a BA actually.
A BA, yes.
I was then pastor for discipleship and programming in City Church. So from 2010 to 2015, that's before I resigned in a way and went to film school in 2015 in Montana. in City Church, and it's still there, 98 Marion Road. I was head of production. And the way City Church is structured, it's a discipling church. So production was part of this. So I was kind of pastor for discipleship. Right. So, and before then, I had an outlet called Barack Records. So I've always been producing for the faith-based world. Before then was Shepherd's Watch. I was Shepherd's Watch for another maybe 8 years before going to City Church. And then I was in charge of producing. I directed the choir for months, so my life is a lot.
I can tell.
So I directed music for more than 2 decades. So that's my appreciation for music is very professional, right? And that's another this thing. So I've always been producing music. I've always been producing content. When I had introduced to the proper sound for screen, so I'm used to doing things properly. So. And just to speak to that, when we're in a place where everybody's winging it and calling it creativity, and when you insist that things are done properly, people think you're hating on them. I don't like to be in those places, so I just walk away. And I pray for growth for you, that you'll go to spaces that you actually see that you're doing rubbish. And that's all I'm talking about. Because we have people arguing here, and everybody has a voice.
Yes.
And everybody's arguing. But I pray for growth, that you go into spaces where you see that you need to step up. Yes. But that's it. And then the next year I did cinematography. And again, I was one of the top, of this class. And that's how I actually won the scholarship. Facilitated by Africa. I must say that because, it's a one of the biggest opportunities I've had in life has been facilitated by a woman called Chioma Ode.
Wow.
My unashamed sugar mommy. She's
She's
opened a lot of doors for me. If you get to ever see this, thank you. Mama. She's not that old, by the way. She's a pretty beautiful young. She's not young, but she's opened a lot of doors for me. So, via the Africa Trauma Days initiative with the training funnel in Africa, when we got the scholarship, it was so Ford Foundation sponsored the initiative in Africa, and that's how I got into. I'm in the grant, and then we went to 18 of us were chosen across the continent. And we went to Montana State University to do the first leg of the training.
The entire continent.
Yes,
only
Africa.
18.
Yes.
Wow.
And out of that, I must have done very well in that batch because I was invited again to come teach and be like a teaching assistant.
OG.
To chaperone the next batch of, I think, now 12 students. So I was part of creating the experience for the next batch that went into the training. So I had and that process of actually being in a space where things are done properly has really shaped my career.
It sounds to me like you never stopped. You never stopped learning. It was sound production and then cinematography. It's one thing and then it's the other thing. Now, if you are tuned in, then you are right. And if you are not, I genuinely wonder what you're doing with your morning this Tuesday. But this is your cue to share the live stream. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. You want to leave us a comment, ask a question, say something. We are following and we relate your question to our OG for today. So never stop scaling, never stop growing. I think that is the big message here today because he never stopped. There's always something and he was always top at it. He's always so good at it. So why are you stopping? Because you're good at editing videos. Oh, please. There's another, there's something bigger you can do, right? There's something more you can learn about editing. It will blow your mind. And I pray for growth. I really like that prayer.
Yes, I pray for growth.
Yeah, and you walk into a room that makes you see that you've been doing rubbish. That's profound. In researching your work, one thing that stood out for me was your interest in culture. There are a lot of people who identify as content creators, production, and all of that. But it's really remarkable to meet someone who does this thing because he loves it and is still putting his 10 toes down and showcasing culture, history, tradition. Because a lot of people, just like you mentioned, creativity, people have changed what creativity means, to just no structure, spontaneous, just do it like you feel it. But you've stuck to one thing. Why is that so important to you? Culture, the tradition.
So the way I see it, when you get to the point in your life when you start asking existential questions like, who am I?
Who am I?
Where did I come from? What am I here to do? We call it purpose today. you know. But when you get to the point, and sometimes you will get, you will get to that point in your life when you start asking those questions, then these things, then identity will matter to you.
Yes.
And that's what, who you are is culture. Your identity is tied to a certain place.
Wow.
And I hope you understand my bias. I come from, my Christian education world. So I may not be saying the Bible says, or I may not be quoting the addresses of the Bible, but you can be sure that a lot of my thought is grounded in the Christian worldview. You understand? So
yes.
I think there's a scripture that actually says that God apportions the boundaries of our habitation. Like He decided where it's not a mistake that you're born in a baby.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
For real. And there must be a reason why you landed in this part of earth and why you're still here.
Mm.
You understand? So that speaks a lot to who you are. And so culture is big. Culture is your identity. It's who you are.
It is who you are.
If you move away from your identity, which is my threat to culture, then you start being performative. Start faking. Yeah. So that's the most I can say. So when you start asking, who am I? What did I come here to do? Then you'll get to the point where you start thinking identity, and identity will always grow you back to culture. And that's where you are. So, and you better build from there.
Yes.
Because, and I say this a lot to content creators. Listen, and this has been I've been in several fora and platforms where we've talked about this. And people say, hey, nobody can tell African stories like Africans. I beg to differ. Have you seen that? Like people that have the money more than you, they pull up the equipment and the money, they will tell it. But what I can assure you is that they don't have the cultural context that you have. Listen, there's something about the fact that I grew up in federal housing. Listen, come from wherever in the world and come and tell a story in federal housing or where I'm from. You will never get the context.
No.
You understand? So we actually have to start celebrating the cultural, because that's who you are. We actually have celebrating it and building on it and monetizing it, because that's actually what you have and that another person cannot have.
Yes.
So and yes. So and there's a lot we can say to that, but culture is who you are. If you start talking about identity, then you will go to culture, and cultural appreciation is a big thing.
And if you move away from your culture, your life becomes performative.
You will start performing. That's why you will start looking to trends.
Wow. How do you balance telling stories through your own cultural lens while also working within the more Western documentary approach you've been exposed to?
So I don't know that there's a Western documentary approach. I know that there is structure. So one of the things that I learned being in spaces where things are done properly, and that can also be subjective. But there's a difference between a business and an industry.
Very true.
You understand? In an industry, there are industry standards. There are best practices for a reason. And let me give you an analogy that I like to use. It's a very funny one. A butcher at the abattoir, people selling meat.
Yes.
And a surgeon in the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital. Both of them are dealing with meat. Both of them are using knives.
Knives, yes.
So what's the difference? And let me push that a little bit. There's nothing like a Christian doctor and a Muslim doctor or a Hindu doctor. A doctor is a doctor.
A doctor is a doctor.
Surgery is surgery, right?
Yes.
And there are ways to do surgery. I'm sure, I'm not a doctor, but I'm sure the Medical Association of Nigeria have ways that you go about, say, operating and taking off an appendix. You cannot be creative your creativity cannot go away industry-based standards. But you see a butcher, he can decide to go at that meat at anywhere and any time. The difference is professionalism. The difference is structure. And this is how I want people to start thinking about creativity. Creativity has to be domiciled in the structure. And we can talk about that in a very formalized way. I actually teach a course on that.
Wow.
So the difference between when you say African storytelling and the Western is there's a way to tell stories. Yes. And you can first of all know the format before if you want to move away from it. Know the format and know it before you move away from it. But most of us, the difference is that because if you're a filmmaker, you know that there's storytelling, the script writing. Every story has a beginning, middle, and end. Even if you want to turn that around in what we call plot, right? Like we do most in the series, you still know which part of the story is the beginning, the middle, and the end. That's structure.
Definitely.
Do you understand?
Yes.
It's like in radio. There's how you start the radio program anywhere in the world. There's the, time check,
yes.
and then there's your identities, and then you want to be creative. You want to turn it around. Come on, that space is for the podcast on your WhatsApp status. You can do that on your WhatsApp status, but when you come to radio, there's a way things are done.
You stick to it.
That's it. And do you get the sense of what I mean? So you can put all of your personality, all of your cultural context, all of your cultural intelligence, that's how I like to call it.
Yes.
But fit it in the structure. That's when we're looking for you, we'll find you, because we know that you respect the industry, you respect the standard, but you bring your style, which is why we will look for you. So these are the considerations that I'm very passionate about this, because I see a lot of things people call creativity, and that it's anything but creativity.
Oh. It's anything but creativity.
Creativity is not a brilliant spasm, if you will, of ideas that float in. No. And I can talk to that when the time is right, but I think it will go beyond the scope of what we're discussing.
Now, there's a significant amount of our history that exists almost entirely in oral form, in the memories of elders, as folklore and poetry, in, ritual performance. That knowledge is disappearing faster than, it is being captured. Is that something you feel as a professional responsibility?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we all, as Africans, all document it. That's why I love the documentary tradition and documenting things and archiving and library. Because I was just speaking to some elderly citizens. There's a generation that will never know what afang is.
Whoa.
The real afang. Listen, very soon they'll be putting broccoli and spinach. Yes, because if you watch the food channels, why are we not seeing any soup there? Like any leafy soup? I made my point, right?
Yes.
Because we're not documenting things that are culturally relevant to us. There's a generation, my kids, let me leave that. But there's a generation that will never know that some people used to go mushroom hunting or snake hunting. And that became a source of food. Let me talk to that. Speak to that. I had, a palm tree being felled behind my house, and I got somebody to tap palm wine from it.
Wow.
And it's fascinating to my kids and everybody. There's a generation that will never and I can go on and on. So, and speaking to the languages that are getting extinct. What are the 5 elements of culture? Let me say 4 elements of any culture. The first is the language. There are languages that are going extinct today.
Yes.
Next one is food and drinks. There's a generation that all we will ever know is sodas. Let me not mention the brands. Meanwhile, there are drinks that are indigenous to this space.
Yes.
Right? So we've done language, there's food and drinks.
Yes.
There's dressing and attire. Okay, thank God. We're getting to the place where we're beginning to wear, and making it fashionable. But that's an element that people should speak and create content around.
Yes.
And this is how we get to preserve and not let everything be oral. And then the other one is, I've spoken to food and drinks.
Yes.
Dance and music. So when I approach content creation, these are the elements of culture that I look at. And let me just tell you, there are 5 radio stations in this town. I challenge you to show me any station that has any content on food.
Oh.
You're welcome. Why? I challenge you to show me maybe very few that even have language other than English. Come on now.
That's deep.
So when we're talking about, these are the things that, from my documentary bias, if I would say that, these are the things I talk about. We talk about African storytelling. And these are the elements of culture that we're not seeing in programming. And I challenge program managers, head of programs in different, even personal content creators. These are the things. Do you think the people in diaspora want to watch you do hip hop? There's nothing wrong with hip hop. And if you're monetizing, if you have a monetizing platform, go to the back end and see where you're making the money from. Who are the people watching those content?
Mm.
I mean, I stand to be corrected. And what are they watching? I can tell you that they're more interested in watching things that have to do with your culture, things that they're not used to.
Things that they're not used
Yes.
to. Yes.
So why don't we create, and this is me selling us to create content stuff. Guys, so let's go back to those basics. Speak about your language.
Yes. Think about your food.
Your food, your drinks. Come on now.
Dance and
Your
music.
dance, your attire. Beautiful stuff. And that's why we begin to put, African content. And then this is African storytelling.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. A lot of video content is now described as documentary. I think this is something I said behind the scene. But you're the experts. Yes, that's why I'm happy you're here today. What does real documentary filmmaking genuinely ask of filmmakers that most of what gets that label simply, they're just lacking it?
So people go to school for this.
They do.
People actually spend 3 years, 2 years, a lot of credit hours to learn this.
Wow.
You understand? So, but the short form answer is narrative discipline.
Narrative discipline.
Yes.
You mentioned
There is a reason why classical music is classical music, as different from Afrobeat.
Afrobeat, yes.
Why do you think a documentary film will be the same as a news report? Structure. So find the expert and learn it properly. There's no how I can explain it for you to know. Most of the things that were varying around, and yes, you can be creative, but look to documentary filmmakers. Like there are a lot, even on YouTube. Look at their formats and see what the documentary is. It's different from a news report. It's different from Vox Pop. Yeah. So the difference is narrative. There's structure for these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most I can say.
I think it's a little bit annoying to see people flaunt, I made a documentary and it's really not what it should be, but because it's in black and white, they're like, yes, this is.
And it's not just documentary, I can say. It's a lot of things. Like I said, people have blurred the lines around and mediocrity and frame it as creativity.
They're swimming in there. They're just comfortable.
And there's things like that. And if you want to break the format, at least understand it and then we'll break it. Then we'll see the reason why you're breaking it.
Why you're breaking it. Yes.
So you can actually say, okay, this is how it's done before. You heard it was said, but now I say unto you, happy. I said it to you. So if that's what you want to do, but at least get the format right. In fact, it's recommended that you become a master in the form. So that people know that you truly understand the form. And then you break. That's when we'll respect you. That's how it's done.
Yes.
Anybody that has ever broken the format became a master first in it. Recognized by the industry. Remember, there's a difference between an industry and a business.
And a business.
So the industry is not you. You can be creative on your WhatsApp status. But you see, broadcasting is an actual industry.
A huge one.
And they are professional.
In that community.
Yes. And they're actual gatekeepers in good and bad ways. But become a master in the form there. Recognize that, this guy knows this or this lady knows this. And then when you break away, we will see why you broke away for the reasons. And then this is how it's done.
Let's talk about the broadcasting part, you in the radio space. How has that experience been for you so far?
I mean, again, the balance for me is storytelling.
It's storytelling.
When we say, so when you say broadcasting, I'm assuming you're talking radio.
Radio, yes.
Yes, so radio, the immediacy and the transiency of radio is something I had to come to grips with. But I'm still a documentarian. I still believe in replay value. I still believe in documenting. I still believe in episodic, serializing content.
Yes.
These are things that are referring to the transient and the immediacy of radio. Yes. So people just want to come sit down in a microphone and wing it. And it comes up as shallow. And I agree. I mean, I understand. I just don't agree. I understand. It's because of the transiency. Once you speak now, if it's not documented, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So people could afford to wing it. But we're in an age where we're monetizing, and if you're going to monetize in this age, the real value is your replay value. So why would I come back to your content and listen to it again? If
there's no value.
And what is value? Is it your accent? Is it the way you talk? These are the questions. And I can go on and on. So these are the things that I had to deal with radio, and I have a wonderful team at Sparkling. I have a wonderful, person I defer to, I'm accountable to, and I'm given the breath to be able to experiment. Some of the things I come from the world of film and TV, which is a little bit more, I can't say it's a little bit more structured, forgive me, but that's the world that I know. More so because it ties directly to monetization, which is a problem in radio today. You just want to come and sit down and talk. And we can't find the thread to your content and money in the bank.
Exactly.
That's where value comes.
Yes.
You understand? That's where actual sitting down and thinking through content and serializing content and researching. We think research is Google and ChatGPT today. Come on. This is the problem. So we can just, and then we'll bring it and go. Nobody will come back there. They will come back because they like your face. But when we look at your content for 6 months and check the replay money, that's when the value of old school content creation as in researching. And by the way, when we're talking research, this is an academic community.
Mm-hmm.
I believe when we're talking research, we're looking to new knowledge.
Yes.
Or new representation of old knowledge. Why do you do a research project? Is it to tell people what you know before? That's your literature review. It's just one chapter.
It's just one chapter.
What we want at the end of the research, you call it research, but it's new knowledge or representation of old knowledge in a new way. So when you do research for radio, why do you forget that? You just want to come and sit down and speak spree. This is the problem. And sometimes when you speak like this, veterans in quote are people that have done this. It's like, I've done this for years. Let me see your results, man. Let me see your results. And this can sound very prideful. But this is the reality in this age. You have to be able to monetize the content. And I'm saying, what is the value? Why would somebody, and monetization is replay value, right?
Yes.
In streaming platforms. There are other ways, but there are other ways that we can monetize. It's monetizing your personality. Yes. Because other than sitting down behind, and this is radio, I hope this doesn't sound like a diss, but this is how I think about radio. Other than sitting behind your microphone, are they inviting you for gigs? Are you making money off sitting behind the microphone? That's your brand. That's your person. Why are you not building it? Why are you not you understand what I mean?
Yes.
So these are the different aspects that I still struggle with in radio. But we're getting to the point where we'll be able to integrate this to realize that radio in this century is more than just sitting behind the microphone. It used to be the blind man's medium. It's no longer the blind man's medium. We're in a radio station now, and people are watching us on YouTube. So you can't hide behind that anymore. So things have changed. Why are you still sticking with ideas and systems that worked in an age that is different from where we are now? That's why you're not getting the results that you're supposed to get, if you're asking. So these are the things that I struggled with, but because I come from the world of film and TV and documentation, I bring those ideas and place them, think through it. And again, I have a wonderful team. We sit back and look back at this things and we talk through these things, and then we're not afraid to experiment. If it crashes, we crash it down, leave it, we fail forward and move to the next idea.
Fail forward.
That's right.
I like the sound of that.
So that has been how I've navigated radio, and it's still a long journey. This is not the point where we're finding ourselves yet.
Yeah.
For me, it's just 2 years in, and there's still more to do.
You mentioned transiency of broadcasting, and I want to hit on that a little. Does running Sparkling FM daily ever put pressure on the part of you, the filmmaker in you? Because we know that when it comes to filmmaking, it could take 2 years to develop, a script and everything. It could take 6 months to shoot it. But for radio, every single hour you need content, it's always moving. So did you ever struggle? Was there ever pressure on that part of you that needed time, the silence to think through things and just...
That's natural to me, but I can see the struggle of the people I'm working with, people that have been in radio. That's why I say that I understand, but I don't agree. If we just want to look good, sound good, you don't want to make money, then it's fine. You can come and sit down and wing it. Right?
Yes.
And if you're in a place, I hope this doesn't come out wrong, if you're in a structure where you don't have to make money, like a state-owned space, whether or not you make money at the end of the month you get, then you can sit down and speak English. But if in a space where you're burning 2,000 naira per liter of diesel, and that becomes your overhead, and then you have staff to pay, then you have to be able to draw a line from your programming through to your marketing and your accounting. Monetization. And I'm saying it's replay value to the streaming money, personal
Yes.
branding, creating of experiences. This is so I can see that, people are struggling with sitting down and processing things. Ask a classic radio person to give you in film and TV. In TV, we think of 22 episodes for a season, at least 22 episodes for a season. Talk to any radio person and see if they can lay out a 22 episodes. They're not interested in that stretch of discipline. I understand. I just don't think. Do you understand? They're not
Yes.
interested in episodic. So these are some of the things that I see they struggle with. And I'm saying the world has changed.
It
You
has.
understand? And that's if what you know and you're swearing by is not working, isn't it wise that you try something else?
Mhm.
That's my point of view. So yes, radio is hard work.
It's hard work.
And let me use this opportunity to commend people that I came to meet in this industry. It's hard work. That's why for me it must count. If this is what I'm doing now. Yes, so
Discounts.
yeah, so that for filmmaking you have to stretch, you have to think through, you have to see it at the end. But radio is basically winging it, and the spontaneity
Yes.
is a key part of radio. You understand? And some people really thrive at it. Do you understand? It's spontaneity is big for radio. That people are really good at it. But I come from the world where you have to, the spontaneity on the spot, but the grounding from that has to be, I have to see everything really laid out. I have to see a thought process. And that's why when we talk about the identity of a show, it comes from structure. What is the structure that you churn out your episodes? Right? If not, every episode will feel different if there's no structure behind it.
Yes.
You understand? But if there's a structure, a funnel through which you pass your ideas through and then you generate the content, and that's what we call the narrative framework for creating your shows.
Yeah.
Then people may not know, but they will feel it when they feel your show. This is, and they'll say when they listen to it, they say, that's that person. And that's how the show is. But there's actually a framework behind the scenes that allows you throw in the elements, which are the topics or the ideas that you want to run. And then you have a show that you're known for.
Since you mentioned excuse me, monetization, I think it's a topic that really pricks people in the broadcasting space, especially radio, because it's a sensitive area. You cannot keep running this thing. You mentioned diesel. Reality check. These things are really, really expensive. Airtime is expensive. It takes a lot to get a guest, and all of that. But people tend to see the visibility, the lights, they see only the fancy part of what's going on here. Oh, we're on a live stream. Oh, I can see a beautiful purple light behind. This must be glamorous, right? But what about this monetization area? Why do you think there's often such a gap between what the industry looks like from the outside and what it actually pays? Because people think the money must be flowing in.
That's a very complex question, and we can go about it in many ways. But let's say for the environment that we are in,
Yes.
I think it's a tension that we have to look at it realistically. First of all, and I've said this before, I've said this in different forums, that we are in a space that is not structured for the kind of money we're looking for. If you're you run a radio, not just a radio station, you run like a media platform. Look at your account in 3 months, 6 months.
Yes.
Where are you getting the money from? The money you make, where is it coming from?
Where is it coming from?
And then you see the numbers, So I think that we need to, and this is a discussion about value. And that's why, not just in radio, that's why a lot of people end up being bitter because of the system is not created to allow creatives to thrive. And it's not just in radio, it's the environment that we are in. Even in government, you have people serve 35 years. And once they retire, they have nothing. They realize that all they've had was built in a place. And that's why you have a lot of bitter people. The system is not created to allow you to thrive. You see people, oh, I've been in this industry for so years.
Yes.
But if you leave, that's why our identity is tied to our work. So if you leave that place, there's nothing.
And it's sad.
So my point is, let's look realistically at the system, the environment that we operate. And for those of us that are heading, like I now have the opportunity to head, I'm saying let's create an environment that allows creative thrive beyond the corporate space, like say the place that we work in. And that's where branding comes. That's where brand identity comes. So I should be OTB, OtoObong Ekpenyong, is different from general managers back in 92.3. Right? So if I'm no longer general manager, or I mean, if I'm no longer a presenter in Sparkling FM, and that money stops, what have I created for my brand that allows me to earn money beyond that? This is the challenge that I bring to people. Right? So what I'm recommending is, like radio stations, corporate bodies should be able to create spaces that allow people, yes, thrive in the space that they are in. For example, Unical Radio. But beyond Unical Radio, the presenter. Are you creating a space? Are you creating an enabling environment that allows that person to thrive as a content creator in a way that is monetizable? And let me make this really practical. Do we have contractual agreements that allow, OEPs in radio stations to be able to monetize their brand and their image? By that I mean, can you allow them have signature shows that is theirs in the station? And these are things that I consult for and I talk about, you understand? But that's how if not, you end up, oh, I've done 5 years, 10 years. The day you leave that radio station, the day you leave that TV station, you have nothing. And then you have bitter veterans all over the place, pointing to systems that is not working in this century. I mean, don't take my word for it, just look around society. Right? And this is what I'm saying. This is a different age. And I'm saying, let's look at our condition realistically. If where we are is not working, don't you think we should try something different? I mean, this is me saying the way I look at this. That's why I really don't like to talk about these things, because it's very polarizing. It's a very sensitive issue. But the truth is, let's look at where we are. Create your brand. Own your systems. Be in a place that let's allow people the breath. It's why I cannot understand why sometimes somebody's tied to a station. Why can't you syndicate why can't you syndicate between one or different radio stations? They don't own you. We go abroad and then we work in 3 different places, morning shift, afternoon. Then when we come back to Nigeria, we are owned by one. I don't understand it. It doesn't. Maybe somebody will explain it to me. But if somebody has the creativity, has built a brand enough to be able to deliver that value in different platforms, if you're not paying them well enough, why don't you release them to be who they are? So there's a lot of ways. That's why I said it's a very complex wired. But I think that creatives, and stewards of creative houses, should think around these lines, and look at the fact that the value, the discussions around value is very important. What is the value to? Because I also think that there's a tendency for, stewards of creative houses to undervalue, what, the inputs that, creatives bring. And there's also the tendency for creatives to overvalue themselves. Because what is value? What you may be thinking as value to the corporate space is not what the manager is thinking as value. For example, I asked you, do you think that I make money because you're speaking English on my radio? And you're doing the work, don't get me wrong. Like, you're churning the content every day. You're doing the research, you are doing it. I just spoke to what research is, not googling stuff if you're doing it. And that's why I said radio is hard work. You were doing all that work and bringing it. That's where discipline, that's where structure, that's where thinking is in place. You have to be able to find how that value you provide feeds the value that the corporate space is looking for. And this is the power of leadership. Leadership needs to be able to find that thread. If not, we'll have a lot of people doing a lot of work. And of course, for them, because they're doing the work is value. but that value, that effort that they're bringing is not translating to actual balance balance sheet entries. And so, of course, they'll be bitter. They're not paying me enough. Of course, they won't pay you enough if what you're doing is not bringing in the money. It's a layered conversation, and we can go on and on. But this is the way that I think about. I hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you something that stands out for me, on this episode. It's the fact that we bring a lot of bright minds, visionary leaders, grounded people from across various, fields, spheres of life. But today, I feel like today is for me. Believe me, I'm sitting under a canopy of wisdom because I am sitting with an OG. Not just in filmmaking, and storytelling, but also in broadcasting. You should hear him. You should hear him talk. He knows. This is way beyond onions. I don't know why you keep using "know your onions" so much. But yes, I am really, really happy that I'm learning a lot today, and I know you are. If you're following on YouTube and on Facebook, then you're doing the right thing. I hope you're learning a lot and taking notes. Leave us a comment. We are following and tracking. If there's a question you have, let's see it there as well, and we'll keep tabs with you. But for now, I want you to go, fill up your glass again with water, stretch your legs a bit, because we'll be right back after the short musical break, and we'll continue with the conversation. Now we're going to hit the streets, the MBA style, right? We're going to go into the streets MBA segment. Yes, this is where you want to get all of the insights you need for actual entrepreneurship, actual business, the things you're doing. You can apply this wisdom in various aspects of your life. So stay with me. This is the Founders Community Network right here on Unica Radio International. Of course, I'm your host. I'm never changing. My name is Eneja Wisdom Chinichiri. I'm that wise girl behind the mic. Stay tuned. For the
103.5 FM. Education, information, and entertainment.
Likewise. Welcome back from that short musical break. You know how we keep it here. This is the Founders Community Network, otherwise known as the Founders Conet, right here on Unical Radio International. And of course, I am your host. My name is Eneja Wisdom Chinechirim. I'm that wise girl behind the mic. And today, I have with me in the studio, Mr. OTB. Grounded, renowned, the actual OG when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to filmmaking, and of course, broadcasting. He has been giving it to us just the way we need to hear it. Raw, explicit, and insightful. Believe me, if you want someone to, help you massage your ego, help you float in your mediocrity, then this is not that show, and this is not the episode, because the man I have with me here, we're not having it that way at all. It is a foolproof, fully packaged, insightful, and educative program, an episode we have prepared for you today. Mr. OTB, Mr. OtoObong. I'm really happy. Again, honestly, I've said it multiple times, and it is because it's true that I have you here with me. I feel like this episode is for me. We've had entrepreneurs, we've had people in the hospitality industry, but this one is for me and many others. All right, now I want us to talk about the side of work that many people admire, from a distance, but they don't actually understand it, the business behind it, the business behind what you do. If you had to briefly teach creators how to price their work, because you mentioned, value and monetizing your value, and how some of them underprice themselves, how some of them overprice, what would you tell them? Creative work is often intangible, right? You can't always measure it in obvious terms. So how should people begin to assign real value to what they do?
Again, you asked very brilliant questions, and very layered questions that are not black and white.
Thank you.
In my view, there are many ways to look at that. You have to first of all consider the environment that you are in. I can tell you, it's a running joke. If something doesn't have weight and occupies space around here,
it does not matter.
It does not matter. People find it difficult paying for it. They cannot carry it up into their boots and driving. People find it difficult to pay for services around here.
Very true.
Pay for things that are not tangible, like your brand,
yes,
like your personality, like your show. So you have to know that that's the environment that you're in. And what I usually advise people is understand the environment you are in, and that's why structure is important, right? The way to place yourself in an industry is to enter the industry. If that industry has a professional outfit, join it and get it and start contributing to the industry. Contributing. If it's an industry, if it's a professional industry, it will have platforms that showcase your contribution. Put it there. Most professional bodies have journals. Today, it's in the digital age, so you have social media places to put your stuff there. There's LinkedIn. That's where you find professionals. So I didn't want to go to specifics, but enter the industry, be grounded if you're a broadcaster. They're professional bodies. I ask people, in my internship, in our internship program, who is a professional? I say somebody that is good at it. A professional, simply put, is somebody that belongs to a professional body. Don't overthink it. Join one and start contributing. That space allows people to see who you are. That's where industry you see what I was talking about earlier? That's where industry standard and best practices come. That's how you gain mastery. People know you contribute in that space up to a point where people see how unique you are. And that You should pay me for this. That window allows you to move from what I would call, a certain kind of pricing, where you price for a temporary pricing, where you price for survival pricing.
Survival pricing.
Yes, that's the phrase I was looking for. That window where people begin, whether it's content creation, whether it's photography, whether it's videography, enter the space, enter the body, start creating, put it out there. And that window allows you to start scaling from your survival pricing as you begin to showcase your uniqueness. See what I was talking about earlier? If you have, and you're asking me, I hope we get to that if there's a giveaway. There's a course I've been teaching. We say voice. For a writer, what is a writer's voice? I read a lot of Malcolm Gladwell. If you're a Malcolm Gladwell reader, you will know when you read a piece, you know this is Malcolm Gladwell. That's his writer's voice. Okay, let me come local. If you read a Chima or a Chimamanda Adichie, you will know that's a writer's voice. By just experiencing that person's work, you know that's their voice. If it's a filmmaker, you watch a film, you see the directorial angle. That's the director's voice. If you watch a Kuna Follower director, you know this is a Kuna because of certain elements, and that comes from structure. Do you understand?
Yes.
Depending on the genre and the format. So, school movies, guy.
So,
do you understand?
Yes,
it's the same thing, and this is the way I'm teaching OAPs. You can't just sit down and wink. You will wink for 10 years and you don't have a voice. So this period allows you to move from survival pricing to the place where we now know you for who you are. That's why it is a Bovi. There are many comedians, but Bovi is Bovi.
Bovi is Bovi.
Bovi is not pricing for the time, it's pricing for his image and identity. This is what I'm talking about. So get into the space, start contributing, and move from survival pricing to identity pricing. And people will actually see your trajectory and the change. Do the work. I hope this answers your question.
Yes.
And we can go into specifics if you're like actual building a framework for this, that. Maybe not. You will be there, and at a certain age, you start your bragging rights will be veterancy. Well, I've done this for 20 years, so you can't see it. You can't see it.
Every single CEO, every single CEO, every single founder we've had on the show, we always try to bring out a part where they share their challenges, even if it's just one with us, because we understand that life is not a bed of roses. It's not even a streets, field lined up with lilies. There are hard times. I think roses have thorns.
Yes.
Yes. So even the beautiful things have the parts that prick you, even if it's just a little. You lead creative people, young minds, inside OE Production Company, inside Sparkling FM. What is the hardest part of leading people who are talented in some cases and even opinionated?
Oh, ego. That's an
Ego.
easy one. And ego. Again, I understand. I just don't agree.
I think this will stick forever.
Yes, I understand because this same thing I'm talking about. There are people that see that in me. There are things I will not agree with, and I don't have to shout at you. So ego is a thing, and that's unique to creative people. Creative people, their creativity is personalized. Everything is tied to them. So if they bring an idea and you challenge it, they take it personal. But again, that's where structure comes in. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's where structure comes in. So the ability to sit down, and there are people that are not used to structure. I call it order. There are people that are random, and they call it creativity.
And they call it creativity.
People are there, and especially in the corporate place. If you work under me, you will like orders. I will force you to order. You will go home. This is not the space for you. I'll go to people that will tolerate your this thing, whatever you call it, while you're here. Because not only will I create the framework for the order, I will show you where it leads. So that I believe is the duty of leadership, to show direction, strategy. And then we discuss, I'm saying if we do this, this is where it will get to. I mean, the best idea way, if you have another better one, bring it. I will submit to it. But if you don't, Mama, Papa, you go sit down, make it. So the biggest thing is ego. And again, I understand if creative people are like that, including me. You understand? So ego, the ability to sometimes talk in your ego, and that comes in, that this is the challenge of leadership, the ability to be able to write down the vision, make it plain that day that run. So if you have creative people that you cannot explicate the vision, you cannot put it down in a framework and explain it for them to understand. Creative people don't work with abstracts. Like lay it down, they have to understand it. If not, you'll always have ego clashes. So that's the biggest challenge working with creative people, and it's actually a challenge of leadership.
Let's talk about you now. I want you to personalize this one. Are there mistakes that most media organizations are making, or one that you have made yourself while managing Sparkling FM? And how, do you have a solution, or have you found a solution to that particular profound mistake you made?
Okay. So I think that for me personally, let's talk about Sparkling. One of the things that is not understanding your audience and the environment that you work with. Like, you have to be clear. Like I said, there are 4 other radio stations in the town. We're all pushing the same money. So why should we come to you? Why should we leave this other station and come to you? Differentiation. So I think that's the mistake that, people make. Like, find your, and it goes back to identity. What makes you stand out? If all the 4 of us are pursuing the same money, why would the person bring the money to you? Differentiation. And it comes back to value. So I think that's where we mix it up. We don't understand our audience. We don't create our identity. We don't create our value and center it on our unique position. And that's what I try to do at Sparkling, but very clear.
Very clear.
Annoyingly intentional, like I like to say.
Annoyingly intentional.
About our positioning, because that's our differentiation.
Yes.
And we're all looking for the same one. We're all looking for the same one. Advert money, media spend. So why should they come to you?
Can you share a project, something you headed? I want it to be very practical.
You're looking for free consultants.
Something you headed, something you wanted to, handle, but it didn't go as planned. In fact, maybe you failed at it. And how did you, pull through that situation?
So for the dignity of people involved, I cannot go into specifics.
Okay.
Right? But one of the things that, there's no easy way to do it, so I'll pass. But I can just tell you that, monetizing radio in Calabar, Cross River State is hard work. It's hard work.
I had to close my
And we can gloss around it. You understand? We can speak English. We can circle around our mediocrities, but when you start actually asking the hard questions, and there are things I failed at, and not necessarily because we did not put in the effort, because the systems are not designed for you to thrive.
Yes, very true.
That's why I said for the dignity of the people involved, you cannot go into specific. Well, it's hard work, and we failed, but we always like to fail forward. Think around it again, make compromises. You will make compromises in this work, and that's why your values are important.
We're pushing towards the end. Is there a version of your career that hasn't happened yet, and that you're willing to tell us about? It's like your vision.
Oh yes, I see myself as a person that. So if I may frame this I'm not where I envision myself to be. I see myself as that person that empowers, especially young people, to stretch the breadth and bounds of their potential. I'm not there. And the key part of that is consultant, image development and branding. I'm not there yet. You understand? I'm still in the prime of my life, the Luke scripture. I mean, I'm a church boy, so let's go there. These are the account of the things that Jesus began to do and to teach. And I'm still doing. And this is the prime of what we're doing. So let's move on. You understand? And then at some point we'll be able to, consult and teach out of the results that we've done in our life. That's where I am. So I'm still looking for a point where maybe in my 60s and my 70s I'll be traveling around, delivering courses and speeches talking about actual case studies of stuff we achieved.
As well as going on cruises.
Yeah, of course, we will find a mix.
In between. And for potential partners, clients, or even creatives who want to work with OE production company, how do they find you? How do they connect with you?
It's very easy. I'm sure you can find a route from any of my social media handles to my WhatsApp. It's very easy. It's not about contacting me. It's whether I'm very deliberate about the things. I don't do everything. I don't do everything. So we can just contact me and say, let's talk and see if we can work. But if you have ideas, I think I'm more positioned to empower you to do the work than for me to do it for you.
And that's what matters. Not
Yes,
doing it for you.
that's what I think, is better. Where the world is going, people need to develop skill. We have a lot of knowledge flying around, and we have very few skilled people. The difference between knowledge and skill is knowledge is what you know. And look at the world today with chat GTP and everybody knows.
Everybody knows something.
But the gap between knowledge and skill is knowledge is what you know, skill is what you can do, especially with what you know.
Mm.
So I think the fine line is to empower people to use what they know and actually develop skills that solve problems. Skills that solve problems in impactful, meaningful ways. This is it. Because we're so caught up in trends, and social media highlights and all of that. When we're the impact in our lives are social media impressions. Come on now. That's how we measure impact. By the number of people that don't let me start. So skill is important, and how do skills actually solve problems? Look at our society. We have people in positions that don't have a clue of what to do, but they're all over the news. I'm sure I've made my point.
Front page.
Okay.
Before we begin to wrap up, let's lighten up a little bit. It's been back to back wisdom inside business strategies, but now the part that I love the most, the rapid fire questions. Yes. I'll ask you a few quick questions and I want you to answer as honestly and as quickly as possible. Are you ready, sir?
I'll try.
Okay. Now we're assuming you have a number of staff in your company, and I want you to answer like this: sack or train. Sack or train.
Okay.
Loyal but
Sounds
thinks
interesting.
very slowly. Loyal but thinks very slowly.
Train.
Has integrity but is lazy.
Train.
Hardworking but quarrelsome.
Sack.
Basic in thinking. Well, why?
Because every space has an energy, and negative energy just pollutes the space. That's the simple answer.
Wow. True. Basic in thinking but always shows up.
Say that again. Train.
Train. Basic in thinking but always shows up.
Yeah, I'd rather train somebody that's learning to learn than a veteran that is heavy.
A veteran that is heavy. Always late but a strong problem solver.
Train.
Zero punctuality skill.
You can train. Yeah,
Okay. Punctual but lacks
Problem
communication.
solver? Train. I want problem solvers.
Okay. Punctual but lacks communication skill.
Baba, the good answer. What are you doing here?
What are you doing?
Come on now.
Comes early but does not know how to communicate.
Stay at home,
Go
please.
home. All right, this one is for you now. Do you prefer your comfort zone or trying new things?
Oh, I'm always trying new things.
Funniest moment you've ever had while broadcasting?
Funniest moment? I don't think I can remember one off the top of my mind.
Can you remember the weirdest?
Weirdest? I mean, when I started hosting the show because I wanted to sit in the seat of where my presenters felt, and actually dealing with the pressure of, managing a live show. It's different. I'm always, from film, I'm always behind the scenes. So the pressure
True.
of life, was different from. So it was weird, but I think to some extent, can say I have a hang of.
What is one hidden talent that only few people or nobody at all knows? Like you're a magician, secret makeup artist.
Hidden talent. Hidden talent. I don't know that I have any hidden talent.
I'm sure.
I don't know that I have any.
I found out you're in a band and your band is
Oh, I mean, I used to manage. That's not hidden.
it's not hidden, yeah.
How is that hidden? I had a band, called Out to Bless a long time ago where it wasn't hidden now. Do bands play in secret?
Of course not.
So I don't think hidden talent. I don't think I have any hidden talent.
Okay. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't chase visibility.
Really?
Yes, not early. Just low key is the main key. Like that's one of the mantras that I remember. Low key is the main key. Stay quiet, build value, build identity, build value. When the right opportunity comes, no worry. That success, you struggle managing it. So we're all looking for visibility all over the place.
I could have never seen it this way.
Yes, it's low key is the main key for me. My greatest flex is being underrated. What I do. You know,
Wow.
yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, stay and build. Don't worry. When the right opportunity comes, you will that visibility. Now you go wrong.
I'm taking my time to process
Yes,
this because
so, I mean,
in our
that's what
time
I'm
and
talking
age now, the numbers on social media actually determines how fast you get monetized.
We spoke. That's a farce. I can tell you that there are many people making quiet money that you don't know. That's why I was saying that how you rate impact is social media impressions. Don't worry, you know. So yeah. So honestly, low key is the main key. Is my mantra.
Low key is the main
I
key.
rated it.
I will not miss that. Low key is the main
Thank
key.
you. I like my quiet, boring life, and it's good.
I don't think it's boring at all. And just like that, we have come to the end of episode 9, season 3 of the Founders Community Network. And honestly, I cannot dare it to leave the studio without giving a big thank you to you, sir. Honestly, what I have learned today, I'm not exaggerating. These are things that I have picked up for myself personally, and I hope you have. I hope you were not just enjoying a fine accents, polished English. I hope you were not doing that. I hope you took notes. I hope you're planning to apply these things that you have learned today. This is something that people pay to get in hundreds of thousands of naira, consultation, training. But you've come here, you've made out time for us, and you've given it to us MBA style. I could get a degree just from this episode. And I'm really, really grateful we're able to, bring you on the show. And of course, to my amazing listeners, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following the live stream. Thank you for, engaging every single content that Unical Radio puts out to you. And of course, to the Unical Radio team, media team, behind the scene crew, I want to give you a big, big, big shout out. It will not, move this smoothly without you. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you have learned a lot, and, the full video of today's episode will be on YouTube 6 p.m. on Friday. So you want to go back. Remember, value is measured by the replay of your content. If I'm getting the exact words, yes. So go back, sit down, use your headset, earpiece, AirPod, soak it in and listen to every single thing that has been shared with you today. So I'd like to know if there's a last remark or, an advice you'd like to give to young people out there who want to start something but are scared to move. I mean, convocation is on Friday, and there are a lot of people who are stepping into business, career path. There are things they want to do, and they're wondering, from here, where? So what would you say to someone who is at that phase right now?
Never stop dreaming. I mean, dream. And if in that dream you're dreaming, you can find somebody that's already achieving it, then find a way to learn from the person. Even as a mentor, as a role model, whatever, find a way to learn from the person. But we have a very audacious generation, so dream. If there's nobody that has done what you want to do, then go ahead.
And go ahead.
Fail forward. Make the mistakes. Fail forward. Make
the mistakes and fail forward. You see that with every 2 seconds he has, there's always something. There's always something you can learn. And I'm really, really happy that I've spent this time with Mr. OtoObong Ekpenyong, a real OG, and I've learned a lot today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, Tuesday 10 a.m. next week, let's meet again with another profound guest that is going to not just blow your mind, but of course take you from story to strategy and from idea to industry. This has been the Founders Community Network, otherwise known as the Founders Conet, right here on Unical Radio International, your home of Edu Infotainment. And of course, I am your host. My name is, and Neja Wisdom Chiniturim. I'm that wise girl behind the mic. I'm on you. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the broadcast we have prepared for you today. Bye for now.